Welcome to the DL Gaming Podcast. I'm Bobby.
I'm Amanda.
And my voice is a little under the weather, so I'm a little deeper than usual. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. I think I sound sexy and viral. I'm contagious and sexy. Yeah. How you guys doing?
Pretty good. I'm kind of oh, sorry.
No, there was a long pause. I was like, wow, that's pretty bad.
That's pretty bad. No, I'm doing pretty good. I've got 2 weeks left of being in California, and then I am making the trek all the way into the winter hellscape of Michigan. So I'm very excited and also nervous, but more excited.
Do you have a job out there, or are you just going home?
Nope, I'm taking a break. I want to hang out in the holidays, hibernate, play a shitload of video games.
Fuck
so
yes.
That'll be great. Yeah, so I'll be off for the next, I won't be on the podcast for the next 3 weeks, but then it will be a lot of games for the podcast. So
how are we possibly going to do any segues without you?
You'll fumble through it. I'm sure you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
arm wrestle the segue into the next one.
There you go. And Bobby, you've been super busy, so you are full of excitement and enthusiasm. How do we get the Bobby that we were listening to when you played that old clip? You're like, all right, guys, I was playing a game. And you know what I mean? Like, you had enthusiasm, you had spunk, you had pizzazz.
Yeah, those were different times.
They were.
I did notice when I played that clip last week, I had to search around for it, so I ended up listening to a lot of like our older stuff. And we would spend so much longer talking about each game. So Year Walk, we probably spent 10 minutes talking about that game. I mean, the game is like 50 minutes long, and we spent 10 minutes talking about it.
I wonder if it's, because we've played so many now, we're just better at describing things, maybe?
Probably.
I'm definitely not good at describing things, but maybe I'm better than how shitty I was back then. Well, who knows? I don't know. We're having such a good time, dude. Yeah. Not that we're not now.
I was gonna say, gosh, we could bring back the good time. You know, it's never lost for forever, right? You can always bring things back. As Bobby said, nothing lasts for forever, right?
I'm always having a good time.
I think.
All right, cool. Let's get into some video games. What you got, Bobby?
Well, before we do, we got a new patron.
Oh, shit. It's been a while. What's up, Christopher? Oh, that's just our Christopher that got a new debit card, I think. No? Is that a new guy?
Christopher? You mean Christian?
Yeah.
My name is even Chris.
I forgot your name, too.
You son of a bitch.
Sometimes you just go with it, dude. Yes, and. Thank you, Christopher, for the patron.
Thank you for supporting Bobby's favorite childhood toy.
Yep. Spelled favorite wrong there in the show notes, Christian. Or Christopher, Cristiano, whatever your name is.
Yeah, whatever this fucking guy is. I'll remove all U's going forward. Sorry about
Even
that.
Google Docs is like, that is incorrect.
You're in America, dude. You're doing an American thing. Take those U's out.
And speaking of an American thing, what's more American than things on our radar? So starting off with things on our radar, which are things that have come to our attention. And you know what? I'm gonna start because I took that. So I put on mine the Entropy Center, which seems to be, you're supposed to be like thinking in reverse and it's a first person adventure where you have different puzzles and you're walking around. I loved it because the gun reminded me of like Halo. It's like I feel like some of these maps kind of look like they're out of Halo, so it's kind of a cool space theme. There's like different like robotic people in it. There doesn't seem to be too many NPCs, but the ones that are there, they kind of look to me like the creatures out of Stray, like the robot computer people out of Stray. But this does kind of give me some, I don't know, Portal vibes. I think it looks really beautiful, and it just looks, pretty neat. You can download a demo, which is free, so that's fun. Otherwise, the game has an introductory offer going on right now where it's 10% off for $22.49. And that's going until November 10th. And so this game just came out November 3rd, 3 days ago, and so far the reviews are very positive, 95%.
Nice. It looks like you have this gun that has multi-functions. It looks like it can push, it can pull, and it can reverse time for an object. So I saw like a rubble pile turn back into an obelisk by rewinding its time, or entropy, I guess. So interesting.
Yeah, I like that concept too, where it's just, the whole play on energy and stopping it, moving it forward, pulling it back. And like you said, with this gun, it can do a whole bunch of different stuff. So you're supposed to be looking at these puzzles from multiple angles, which I think is really cool.
Go ahead.
It's fascinating listening to one of you guys talk about a game that I've worked on and talked to people spending hours and hours and hours on. How do we communicate this feature so people understand it? How do we make the Steam page efficient?
And then we just knock it
Steam,
out of the park.
No, well, it's not that you knock it out of the park or not. It's
No, we
that
knocked it out of the park,
No,
Christian.
I mean the real question is, did they knock it out of the park? Like, are the things that we're saying what we're
Exactly.
supposed to be saying?
Exactly. And it's so interesting to see that the important things of some of your perspectives aren't the important things that we think are important. And seeing that in a new way is just really, I don't know, it's cool. I think no one else at my job really has this sort of perspective, this unique opportunity to have other people researching stuff that
So now
they've
we know
done.
what Christian is doing here.
Yeah, he's finessing us this whole time. He's gathering intel.
Actually, I had no idea that you were a part of this project, though, Christian. I was like, oh, this shit looks neat.
Yeah, no.
Every day he drives to the Entropy Center and he parks his car and he goes inside. He walks in backwards.
And he thinks about how his impact of his entropy is on this world.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Now they did spell center wrong, so
No,
Sentry? Sentry. Oh, is there a reason for that?
oh my god.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's
R
it.
before E, except
Oh.
after. Yeah,
Totally.
It's
No, this
Yeah, it's-
this reminds me a lot of Portal in a way, where it's just like it looks like a first-person shooter, but it's actually a puzzle game.
Yeah. We as like not the people selling this can say, hey, it's super strong Portal vibes. You can't sell, or they can't sell it, but like, hey, it's just like Portal, but not. It's easier for us to like do analogs like that. You can't do it when you're selling it though.
true.
guess you
but
could say-
he did bring a good idea and perspective of that. That like even as a podcast, it's cool that we get to hear as well from the other side of that,
Mhm.
right? And so, Christian, what are some of the things about this game that like you guys thought about and were putting into that maybe we just missed talking
well,
about it?
the most important thing I think that we tried to do, because this is a small studio and I believe this is their premiere title, is to align it close to like the Portal games, right? It's a puzzle game. You walk around, except you have this third dimension, which is time. So we tried to align it with Portal as close as we could with like what we were showing and how we were communicating things. But it's really interesting, I think, that you saw Halo. You saw
It's the
you
gun.
yeah, but you were appealing to like the sci-fi part of it and the gun. It's all important. It's all interesting and important. But Emilio got Portal in the end, so maybe we did a good job after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's
yeah.
even got like the red and the blue colors. That's very Portal-ish.
It's orange, Bobby.
Yeah, orange.
Are you gonna play this,
Pretty
Bobby?
white,
It seems
but-
like something.
This
you
seems
might-
like something I would enjoy.
Yeah.
I'll keep an eye on this one.
Cool.
I don't know, because
Yeah.
there was that other first-person puzzle game where I was so excited about it, and then I maybe got halfway through it and completely lost interest.
Talos Principle.
Yeah, the Talos Principle. Didn't play the DLC either.
Oh, speaking of DLC, did you play? There's a free LC for Slay the Spire. Did you play it?
No, I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, it's called Downfall, I believe.
Hmm.
Yeah, free LC. So I know
Dang.
you love that game.
I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
scared to touch it again. That could start a whole thing.
Well, it might not be a bad thing to start a whole thing. You don't want to be, surviving out here not doing anything. And speaking of that, I guess there's no good way to segue this shit. Bobby, tell me about Soulstone Survivors.
I'm going to talk about both of the games I have for On the Radar.
No, dude, we go in order. We pass it around. No, I'm kidding.
These two games, Soulstone Survivors and Army of Ruin, these were both posted by Burn Division in our
Yeah.
Discord, one of friend of the show. But I do want to say I discovered these games before I saw that he posted them in there. These are the two new Vampire Souls-like games that are coming out. But I think we've reached a point with all these copycat clones where the bigger companies with more resources are starting to catch on. So these ones look a lot better. Soulstone Survivors. Oh my God, man. I'm having trouble remembering which one is which right now.
Okay.
Soulstone Survivors. This one I believe is already out, And the graphics on this one look a lot like Risk of Rain 2. That's a good comparison, I think. So they're pretty good. And it looks like, from the information on their Steam page, they've really thought out a lot of things on this. It looks like it's a lot more of a meta game going on, rather than just the passive run around and do things. Like there's a lot. Obviously, you have to level up your character, but you can introduce other things that make it harder, but you get more rewards. They had an interesting name for it. I can't remember what it was called. I think it was like something like Virus or something. I don't know. The other game, Army of Ruin, looks, I think, better. I like the graphics better, but it looks a lot less developed. Soulstone Survivors has 14 playable characters as of now. Army of Ruin only has 5. And based on the Steam reviews, people are saying there's a lot of potential here in Army of Ruin, but it's maybe not quite there yet. But it looks, I mean, I got to say, out of all the Vampire Survivor-like games, this one looks really good. It looks like Magicka or something. I really like the spell effects and just like the character models. But I'm glad we're kind of getting to this point where we're seeing a lot of these types of games that are not only having better graphics, but they're expanding on the genre.
Yeah.
Like they're
simple.
testing out new things and introducing new ideas. You know, eventually I think we're going to get to the point. I think this happened with oh my God, PUBG. What is that? Battle Royale games.
Battle Royales.
Where we had this real simple version of it for a while. And what was even the first game? It was like Battle Royale. It was a mode of some type of game. I can't remember. The game itself wasn't very popular, but then they had this mode that became extremely popular.
That was a fucking... Oh my God!
Yeah,
for Epic Games, the really big Epic game, guys.
Not
Fortnite.
No, there was one before that.
But that also fits your
Apex?
description. Whoa! Hello, Nicholas.
Hello there.
We should switch.
I'm alive. The
Your internet
infrastructure
is
for
working.
Georgia has returned.
Yeah. Oh,
It says
great.
Bomberman is the first battle royale. Woo.
Well, yeah, maybe, I guess. But
Shut
no,
up,
there
Christian.
was like oh my God, it was like people in pig masks. God, I cannot remember this game. I didn't really play it. King of the Hill.
DayZ?
No, King of the maybe like DayZ.
H1Z1.
H1Z1. There it is. Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
Guys, it's H1Z1. Seriously, get the.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, you get your loonies
But it
and
wasn't
your toonies out
H1Z1.
of
It
here,
was like a
motherfucker.
modification, like a mod of it, I think. But anyway, like if you look at the evolution of battle royales, it didn't start out like the battle royale that we all know and love with like Apex Legends and whatever the big ones are right now. Like they started off like completely different and kind of grew into that. And I feel like that's what's going to happen with these Vampire Survivor clones and also roguelikes too. Like those started out being one thing, and with roguelikes, I feel like they
became a
started
feature.
merging it with different
Yeah.
genres. Like they got the
Way easier,
mashup treatment.
This is a true genre, though, and I will say that it's a little different from that, Bobby, because it's so hard to make a battle royale because you need so many resources and they're so intensive. I think this is gonna. I don't know if it's gonna fizzle out, but it's definitely gonna evolve way faster. These games are getting dropped every week because they're so easy to make comparatively to other video games. You're literally just a bunch of numbers and running around from bad guys. That's all there is. And so you're just adding on to it. Yeah. So I think it's going to evolve and fast forward because
Do you think?
Go ahead.
Do you remember the last time that this happened? Like recently?
What do you mean? Oh, like what other genre was like this? Go ahead, hit me.
It's auto chess. Do you remember auto chess?
Oh yeah. Blew up. Yep.
And then now League of Legends has an auto chess.
Yeah.
Dota has an auto chess.
Yeah, it becomes a mode in all the different games.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I haven't gone back to Rogue Genesia. I'm gonna check it out, see if there's been an update. But that's my favorite one so far. I love the look on that one.
All right. Well, before we move off of Army of Ruin and Soulstone Survivors, can we get prices and release dates? So Army of Ruin is out, came out a week or two ago, and it is $3.99. And I believe Soulstone Survivors is coming out November 7th. No price tag yet.
Can we don't have much money in our coffers, but can we use some of it to get Chris a VPN? Because this the Canadian shit is boggling my mind.
You don't like extra U's and Z's, dude? What do you want a VPN for?
All right, cool. Are you done, Bobby? Is it time for me to
I'm
take
done.
over?
I now transfer the conch from Lord of the Flies to Emilio.
All right, thank you. Well, Nick, I'm glad you're here. You could probably speak on this more than I can, but God of War Ragnarok is officially out, yeah?
No, well, it'll be
Very
out
close.
Tuesday. This drops Monday.
Okay. But
No, it
there's
drops Thursday. Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
there's some early reviews, and it's looking really good. People are enjoying it quite a bit for people who got early copies. I guess you get to play as multiple characters this time. Like the review that I watched from the ACG guy, he wanted 0 spoilers. So, but it does sound like 4 characters you get to play, and he said that really the only fault this game has was the pacing is kind of all over the place. But when you make a game that's this big, it's even bigger than the first game. I think it's hard to have a start slow and slowly build all the way up, especially when you have an
Exactly.
open world where the character can go wherever he wants. So, yeah, like Bobby says, the player is an agent of chaos in a story. So yeah, he's just gonna run around and do whatever he wants. So you're gonna get things out of order. But graphically, it looks great. I'll talk about God of War, which I've been playing nonstop later on in the podcast. But I'm excited about this. But who knows when we're going to get this? I think maybe you have some info on this, Nick, but I think a year and a half to 2 years after release is what I'm guessing.
So we're starting to see an uptrend with, companies buying out franchises and stuff and having these exclusivity things. There's a rumor that this will drop in exactly in a year. Like we're
Okay.
gonna see advertisements 6 months when this game goes on sale or whatever for like $49.99 or whatever.
Yeah.
We're gonna see the advertisements to build up for the PC release, so people will remember. Oh yeah, it's on PS5, so they'll buy it, and then or people that don't have a PS5, they'll be like, oh shit, it's finally coming to PC.
And I'll definitely say that whenever it does come to PC, it's probably a day one purchase for me.
Yeah,
It's so much quality, so much care goes into these games. It's insane. I'll talk about it.
What you were talking about, by the way, it's like this funny thing that always happens in God of War, where it's like, and a bunch of other games that get sequels and stuff. It's like, where did Kratos's, Chains of Chaos go? Like, where did all these things that I earned in the last game? Where'd they all go? And every time they have to, that's how they kind of innovated in this one, is that they made you be able to play multiple characters.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, because you already start off with like the axes and everything else, So
Yeah.
how do you diversify your game? In the last game, it was every weapon that you got, but in this game, it's different characters. I think.
Cool. Yeah. So looking forward to that one. I am done talking now. Would Nick like to start talking?
Yes, I would.
These are
like
great
to start talking.
transitions.
Can you guys
guys.
do
My
fucking better?
gosh.
Jesus Christ.
Jeez.
You're making me angry, and I'm here with
I don't
you
know, man.
on
I
your
like my
side.
literary reference that apparently went over everyone's head. Nobody remembers reading that book.
No,
in
that
middle
was
school.
great. That was a good conch moment. Hopefully we
Um,
don't end like Lord of the Flies.
For my only sin for being late is that I have to talk about Warhammer. I'm sorry, everybody.
I literally said
Um,
before the episode, I was like, "Hey, it's gonna. I know we're starting late, but it's gonna be shorter because Nick's not here, and we don't have to listen about Fort Warhammer." But here we are.
No, so this caught a bunch of people off by surprise. This game didn't have any trailers or anything anything at all. It is a 5-year-old Warhammer Diablo clone. And the thing is that it's always been kind of locked behind its price point. Like before they did a super edition, it was like $180 to buy the game and all the 25 DLC. But now it's on PS5 and Xbox One, and they're re-releasing the game in like a kind of like a collect 'em all package where it's only like $49, I think.
Oof.
And but the thing is, a lot of people are liking it. In the game, you play as an Inquisitor. You can kind of choose your basic kind of tropes like sorcerer and things like that, or like a tech guy. So it's pretty cool. I might actually pick this up and play with Leslie. Leslie loves Diablo. We're waiting on Diablo like everyone else. But yeah, I think this game is going to be. It's already coming back. Like the purchases and the ratings are all being done really soon now. Like are coming in really fast right now. So
Does that mean it's going to be on Game Pass, Bob, Nick?
probably we're seeing a lot of Warhammer games go to Game Pass. I will probably see after all the purchases, like if it will probably go to Game Pass or not.
Yeah, I mean anything that's on Xbox goes to Game Pass, right? I thought.
Usually.
Yeah, usually. Yeah.
There's certain game. Well, you got to remember with this is the stupidest thing.
It's
to
a
have to explain.
67 Metacritic. We could just cut it off right here, dude. We could.
And that's before all the DLC, by the way, and all the fixes.
Okay. Sure, bud.
But over like 1 million people use it. I mean, play it. I think, and a bunch of other shit. The thing that it always sucks with Warhammer games is that the license is handed out to every fucking development team ever that ever requests it, and so sometimes Warhammer is like, no, we don't want our game on Game Pass, or yeah, we want our game on Game Pass. Happens all the fucking time.
I wonder, like, if they have a super low IP using price, or they just do it for free to build up the, bring
But
everything up.
I think it's both. The thing that I'm not gonna go off.
It can't
on
be
this,
cheap
but-
and free, dude. It's one or the other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And my thing with this is that it really is an expensive hobby, but this is like a way to get into it without actually getting into it. So that's my thing about the the Warhammer universe is that there's books and shit that can entertain you that you like. There's novellas, there's audiobooks, there's movies and shit. But yeah, this is just an easy way to get into the hobby or get into the topic. But tell me about Lilith Odyssey. Their days.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that was an odyssey to get to this transition. That was
Gosh,
great.
she's so
Yeah,
good.
I was trying to
She's
get
so
there.
good.
All right. Yeah. Well, you did. So Lilith Odyssey is a top-down planet survival kind of action game. And so it's a quirky little galactic migration sim where, the great Nacho wars have ended and the corrupt government has sapped life and resources. So you and your family are on this trek to try and find a place to call home and migrate, and you are supposed to get to this place, Lilith, and that's your whole journey. It's an open world. You get in a spaceship that has a different view, as you would imagine a spaceship of navigating that, right? And you shoot stuff and things like that, it seems. And you land on these planets and you kind of are looking for economy. Well, you're building an economy, sorry. And then you're looking for food and fuel and things like that, which to me reminds me very much of No Man's Sky, right? Like you could say that. But the graphics are different, kind of unique. They're, I think, a little bit more like pixelated is how I'd call them. They'd almost look like more of a, I suppose, like a retro feel, but I think that that's kind of fun and part of the charm. It is an indie small developer, and so yeah, you can tell that they didn't put a ton into the graphics, but it seems like there is a lot into the game. And based on a decent chunk of the reviews, people are saying that apparently the game is worth it just for the radio alone. That the radio when you're flying around is like hilarious and wonderful, and they compare it to Fallout and Grand Theft Auto and like that kind of quality of a radio where like it really sets the environment and the scene and like it really fantastic. A lot of people are saying, I mean, because like I said, the graphics to me seem a little bit more retro and pixelated, but a lot of people love it like it's an art aesthetic, and so
I think it's
and
super
like a distinct art style. Yeah, it seems really awesome, and it seems just like a charming and kind of strange survival, and a lot of people are really liking it. I mean, it does only have like an 83% positive so far, but there's only 37 reviews, and it just came out yesterday. So it's by this company called Chase Star Unlimited, and it seems to be their only game that they've made. And yeah, you can get it as an introductory thing for $14. It's $13.99, so it's 30% off until November 12th. And it looks cool.
Send them a twit, Christopher.
Seems
See.
pretty neat.
It's like
It
they
does
don't
seem
have a
pretty neat.
twit.
They don't have a twit. Oh
I
no.
don't have a twit. God, that's so metal.
But
You know what's not
Everybody's
metal?
fucking twit now.
The opposite of metal, which is an unmetal. So,
Unmetal.
Emilio, tell me about unmetal.
this is almost directly picked
painful.
from our Discord for Nick. This is a Metal Gear Solid spoof. And the thing
Oh my
about
God.
spoof games is they usually suck. Just like spoof movies, a lot of them, for every 10, you might get one good one. But this has like a 94% right now on Steam. And it's a clone of like the NES,
The original Metal Gear.
the original Metal Gear Solid, which the original PlayStation ones were the same view, right, Bobby? Or Nick?
Yeah, but just better graphics.
Yeah, better graphics, but same
That's
pretty
all it
much.
was.
Yeah. And so anyway, you know, it's the whole like, not this guy is not a special elite warrior. He's just some guy who got caught up in all this, and he's just like, what the fuck? And yeah, supposedly it's funny and good gameplay and stuff. So 94%, I think it's probably worth you taking a look at it. Do you like the older
How
ones?
much is it?
Did you like the older ones, Nick?
Yeah, I play them. I play them on ROMs and shit.
I see.
I mean, really, all it is just story, right? When you compare to those games from then to now,
Mhm.
like ROM, you have to kind of speed it up a little bit to make it actually like more playable. As bad as that sounds.
Yeah.
But I definitely play this. Like the whole rats being crushed by the fucking blade thing. Like I can see all the jokes from the actual Metal Gear series.
Yeah.
By the way, you pulled a boomer moment. By the
Well-
way, it's not Metal Gear Solid. This is Metal
Oh.
Gear and Metal Gear. Yeah,
Yeah, Metal Gear.
and
That's
Metal
it.
Gear Solid is the one on PlayStation. That's how they kind of made a new statement that this is a different character that kind of looks exactly the fucking same in the photo.
I'll never understand. Don't try to explain it either. The different snakes and the fucking liquid snake and big boss. I don't care. It's
yeah,
crazy.
it's confusing.
Yeah.
Hey,
But I
A lot
do
of my-
care about highlights. Those are
Hell yeah.
games that we have played and we want to talk about because we're excited about them, or they totally sucked, and that's why we put it on here. So, Bobby, tell me about Overwatch 2, which, by the way, I had a weird experience with it. I downloaded it. I think I talked about it already. I was trying to activate my Blizzard account or whatever, and they say I put in my email, and they're like, "There's already an account with that email." And then I try to get a referral code for the password, or whatever, and it just doesn't work.
Was this trying to log into BattleNet?
No, because I was already into BattleNet. This was specifically for Overwatch
a
2.
purchase.
Maybe you should try. Well, Overwatch 2 is free unless you get the Battle Pass. Maybe
Yeah.
you should try to do it again because I know they had all those issues when it first launched.
Okay.
But I don't know. Yeah, and I wish I had something new to talk about this week, but I did have a rather busy week, and I've been doing a lot of editing, and my hand really hurts. Even had to ice it between playing the piano, editing, and playing video games on the computer. Like my hand is just taking a beating. It's not fun getting old.
Did you smash your finger, dude?
I got bit by a dog.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, you don't remember that?
You haven't healed?
No, that was like 2.5 months ago, and it's almost grown out. And I'm missing parts of the nail because he bit me pretty deep, right on the cuticle. Was not fun. Fuck chihuahuas.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So I played some Overwatch 2 for some reason. I just kind of got into it. A lot of people that I game with are playing it right now, and I haven't really liked the game. And I checked it out when it came out just to see what it was all about, and was like, well, whatever. But I actually had a pretty good week with it, and I think it's kind of because I was waiting for the single player content. That wasn't really here. They had the a Halloween event that did have some single player content, but I didn't really get into it. It was mainly just grinding for cosmetics. But what changed this week was I played a mode that's kind of like ARAM, but it's not really ARAM, but you all get random characters and you play on one specific map, and when you die, it switches you to another random character. So what happens, I spent a couple hours playing this. I got really into it. And what happened was I played every single hero multiple times, and it forced me to learn these different heroes. And when you play different, that's like one thing you got to do in any of these competitive games, is just actually play all the different people. Even if you don't like them, you find the ones you do like, the ones you click with, and then you learn kind of how to play against them because you know what their abilities are and how to counter it and what's good against them. And I had never done that with Overwatch. I always just played the same heroes every single time, and that was my comfort zone. But this kind of forced me out of that, and it kind of had the careless feel of Team Fortress 2. I've always preferred Team Fortress 2 over Overwatch because Team Fortress 2 is just, it's so crazy and nobody cares and like whatever happens. It doesn't feel very competitive. And Overwatch 2 does.
You run out, you try your best, you die. And
then you respawn and you do it again.
Bobby, were you able to play characters that you haven't unlocked?
Yeah, I guess so, because you have to unlock characters with the battle pass now, and there's two new ones. But I don't.
This is the controversy right now, involving all the characters. So they just announced a new character, I think, yesterday, and it's the same thing. Unless you have the battle pass, unless you buy the battle pass, you have to play at least 50 hours on average to earn that character.
50 hours.
Yeah, I mean, it's a free to play game.
It's a free to play game.
Grind things now. And
how much is the battle pass, Bobby?
I don't know, and I don't really care. Like out of the new heroes,
I need you to care, man.
I didn't like either one of them. That wasn't my type of hero. But it's probably not much. I mean, however much battle passes typically are.
$15.
Like $15, $20? Yeah, usually.
It'd be great if we had a computer guy searching things up as we talk about it.
He has an upset tummy today, apparently.
Oh, he's doing the diarrhea.
Maybe had some cheese.
Yeah.
You know what I noticed, though? I went into my profile or career profile or whatever. In my lifetime, I mean, it's probably a little bit more now, but in my lifetime, I've played 46 hours of Overwatch.
Yeah, dude, we were into it, dude. When it came out.
I'm saying that's it? Like 46 hours?
I think it's a lot.
Nah, that's not a whole lot.
That's not a lot.
That's not a lot for Overwatch. Deep Rock Galactic's like 700 hours. I mean, that's an extreme, but Overwatch is a game that I think a lot of people have a lot of hours in. It's not like a game you just do 46 hours. That was kind of a shocker to me. And yet I've spent like, what, $150 on that game?
I spent, whatever the top, like, what would you get? Boxes? It's boxes,
loot
right?
boxes.
Yeah,
and I would buy.
Like it was a literal box. Yeah.
They had a $99 package, and I bought it more than once. I feel like I did it twice.
I bought two $50 packages, and I thought that was the top one. And then I bought the game.
Maybe you're right.
And it was probably the deluxe version of the game too, so it was probably like $50 or $60. So yeah, spent a lot of money on that game.
At least it was like a polished product,
Mm-hmm. It was.
It has its faults, but it looked great, it sounded great.
Yeah, and it
good.
still has the best UI I think I've ever seen in a game. The font just, I don't know. Maybe not the UX, like the user experience, like how you get to different things. And like I feel like a lot of that could be a little more clear because I had no idea this ARAM mode even existed. Like I guess it just wasn't that apparent to me.
Oh, this isn't like a weekly thing? This is like a permanent fixture?
I think so. Honestly, I still don't know how to get there because I was grouped up with someone else who was queuing us up. And I was like, all right, this is awesome. I didn't know this was a thing. This is great.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, but I don't know. In other games, it's very clear. Like, these are the different modes that you can play. But I'm talking about just, like, graphically pleasing to the eye. Like, the UI, I think, is beautiful in that game. And, yeah, it was. When that game came out in 2016, we were super hyped for it. And I was a little let down. And I'm not exactly sure why. I couldn't get into it.
Because it wasn't better than TF2. At the end of the
I
day.
think that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe, but here's the
wasn't as
thing. Like,
fun.
TF2 is great, but, like, I can't play a ton of that anymore, Like,
you have 1,000 hours in it, dude. Like,
oh, yeah. I mean, over the course of 13 or 14 years, however.
it's hard
the
being
game's
the
been out.
best, dude, too. You get in there and you're like, oh, these chumps.
Well, the big problem with TF2, and we always talk about this, is you can't stay on the same team. If you queue with somebody, it breaks us up every single time. It's like, oh, these guys are too good together.
Yep.
All right, but yeah, so that was my week with Overwatch 2. I didn't bring it up this week, but season 3 of Deep Rock Galactic is starting. They've got a name for it. It's called Plaguefall. It's got some cool new things they're going to introduce with it. So that just came out, and I'll probably be checking that out next week. But that and Phasmophobia. I bought Phasmophobia
Nice,
too.
man.
So Nick,
Hell
we should
yeah.
definitely play some of that.
Cool.
We'll definitely talk about that. What do you think about it, Days?
Yeah, well, yeah. Phasmophobia was, Nick and I played it last Sunday for spoopy season Halloween. And I don't, you know what? I'm glad. I think the only time I'm gonna play Phasmophobia is with Sherpas like you and Leslie, and then my buddy Virus was also, I think, helpful as well, or at least he's played it enough to know stuff. So he just kind of jumped in, and it was very plug and play for him, I'm sure. And like he was playing it in VR, which is very funny because people always look like noodles when they're in VR. So we were watching him a lot of times. Just all of a sudden, his character would just be sitting there looking weird.
He'd be like doing the Fat Joe. He's like lean into rocket. Like every
Yeah.
5 seconds.
And so that was fun, but it was cool that like it's just so fluid that a bunch of us could be not in VR and someone can be in VR and it's still fun. And I was really scared, thinking that I was going to be terrified. And I mean, I certainly was a little baby. Sure, there were a few times where Nick was like, "Okay, let's leave you down in the basement and call James Graffin's name," and I'm like, "I'm not doing that." It was already up the stairs. But I didn't find it as scary as I remember it, and I do think a lot of that's just because of being with
You
three
did
very
live
experienced
every
people.
time, by the way. Like no one died.
Yeah.
Not a single person died.
There was a ghost event though where a dude grabbed me on my way down, and then when you had me listen to I had to drink some wine to like get some liquid courage to play that game, and I'm glad I did. But dude, yeah, that was crazy. Like listening to the dude as well with like such good headphones was just I can't even mimic the sound. It was like weird wet slurping noises, and I was like, "Fuck, this is gross! Like, get me out!" So
Yeah.
that was cool. But the last one that we did where we actually saw the dude with a scythe like at the campsite, that was really cool. It was a lot of fun.
So you know how you're like, you're a Sherpa. You and Leslie just know everything and help us. Let me tell you about how we got fucked twice. So me, Leslie, and one of our friends were just playing because we're waiting for everyone else to get on. So like, hey, let's do a couple of games. We win 3 in a row, and we're like, all right, let's turn up the difficulty. We win another 2 in a row. Let's turn up the difficulty, right? Now we're on nightmare mode, right? And for those who don't know, in Phasmophobia, there's a timer for how long you're invulnerable for, essentially. It's like it's like one of the main aspects of the game is that on the normal difficulty, you have 5 minutes to set up any devices that you want to set up inside of the house without any recourse. Like you're probably not going to die unless you pick up something dangerous. In Nightmare, that time doesn't exist. It doesn't exist anymore. Not only that, the amount of clues you get to figure out what kind of ghost it is, instead of 3, because normally once you have all 3, you would know what ghost it is. Normally you only get 2. So me, Leslie, and our friend Sean, we load up into a game, and we're going to be like, it's going to be the most dangerous type of ghost there is. A demon. Haha, it's a joke. Ha 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 ha, watch. We just turned it to Nightmare. It's going to be a demon, watch. And we're like, wait, it might be. And we've discovered the first thing that demons associate with. And my friend's like, oh, let's go pick up some stuff from the car. You two stay in here. Everything will be all right. As soon as he left the house, the fucking ghost started hunting us and ended up killing Leslie immediately. Right. And I'm like, I was hiding in a hiding spot, so I was safe. And I'm like, bro, it just killed Leslie. And he's like, no way. I'm like, come on. I'm like, yeah. He's like, we had to take a picture of her body. If we don't take a picture of her body, we don't get insurance money. So he runs. So we both run in there. And as soon as we both step in, hunt again. It kills me. And he's like, nope, fuck that. We're not doing that. That's scary story number 1. Scary story number 2 is I'm playing with the same guy. Leslie is watching because she loves watching us play, and two of my other friends. We're playing on Nightmare because we're like, we're fucking the best. All right, we don't lose no more. No one dies. If someone dies, that means we lose. And so we're playing on Nightmare, and in Nightmare, if you don't reach a safe spot in time, it doesn't matter how many of you are not safe, you all die. So we're pulling tarot cards, like actual tarot cards. One of them will get the ghost to hunt immediately. A bunch of the other ones do other shit. I pull the card out for like interaction. I pull another card for another interaction. And I pull out a card, and we all think it's the one that's going to kill us all. So we all start panicking. We're like, oh, fuck. And so my buddy's like, false alarm, false alarm. Keep pulling him, Nick. I'm like, he's like, remember the one we're looking for is death. And before he can even say death, I go, it's death. Run! And we all just immediately start running to hiding spaces. In that moment, two of my other friends die. We get into a safe space. Me and my other friend are like, okay, we need to leave. Before we even leave to the door and get out of the door, it hunts again and kills us both.
Is it possible to beat Nightmare? Do people do this? Is there videos of people doing it?
Dude, so I didn't realize how big the Phasmophobia fucking community is.
Well,
it's
shit,
like one
they
of those
sold
things when you discover
400,000 copies. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like a little microcosm. It's like when you discover fucking people speedrunning Super Mario fucking 3D Land or whatever. It's like finding that, and like there are dudes with no assistance, because there are people that play with assistance where like things will automatically mark off if the game detects it happening and stuff. That's kind of cheating. But people without assistance, they'll do the job of 4 people. They'll not only play on the hardest difficulty, but they'll play the whole mission by themselves.
Yeah. Try hard out there.
Damn.
But if you
And
get
if you
that good, I feel like it ruins the game, dude. It makes it not scary anymore.
And that's what we were talking about.
Yeah, you don't want to
exactly.
do.
Like,
you don't want to be that guy.
But that's the thing that they're like when they do patches for this game now, they're introducing new things to make the game harder in that aspect and more fun for people who are not at that level.
Yeah. Hey Nick,
It's
is
really
there
weird.
with the people you play with, is anybody playing in VR?
We have one friend who does it every now and then. But he's a little bitch and he gets headaches after like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But and nobody that gets headaches is a little bitch, but we just make fun of him all the time because he always complains about headaches.
Bobby, do you have the Oculus right now?
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna play? Are you gonna try it out?
Yeah, probably not.
Okay.
Phasmophobia in VR? Nah.
Yeah. All right.
Even I know people that don't get motion sick, like normally in VR, like they play Pavlov and a bunch of other shit. But when they play that game for some odd reason, they get a little motion sick. Like I have a guy who will play 4 hours of Pavlov VR, and then he'll switch to Phasmophobia, and he's like, nope, I'm good.
My guess is that a game like Pavlov, you are kind of focused on forward and you're just searching for like a person to hit with your hit markers, right?
Yeah.
Whereas with Phasmophobia, and I had this issue with the Wanderer, you are looking for little details and things on the ground. You're looking for little places. So you're kind of using way more, you're intaking way more of your environment, which is gonna, which
That
is
makes a
gonna
lot of
probably
sense.
give you a higher headache.
Your
I found that like if I take ibuprofen before I play and then wear shoes while I play VR, that helps.
I've heard the shoe thing before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
High heels, or would you recommend?
Oh, the sexiest pumps you can find. If you are not hunting ghosts and pumps, what are you doing? I mean, are you even a ghost hunter? Come on.
I tried Crocs.
You
It
can hear
really
me
didn't
running
work.
away, but I'm safe.
I'm so safe.
But no, yeah, Phasmophobia, we played because it was Halloween weekend this week and everything.
You gotta do it.
So
Yeah.
we
Gotta do
had to
it.
play it, and it was a blast. We're like, we're all gonna play Phasmophobia until WoW comes out. That's the plan.
There we go.
All right.
Yeah.
But you were talking about God of War earlier, like Ragnarok. What do you got about fucking the OG 2016 God of War, dude?
One thing about it coming out in 2016, dude, and then coming out to PC now, if it came out as like a AAA game today, which I guess it kind of did, they revamped it and all that, I would put this up against anything that came out in 2022. I feel like it would be like a game of the year if it came out this year. You know what I mean? It'd be up there. It's so polished. It's you could just see how much work goes into it. The voice acting's crazy good. I'm really warming up to it. Like I look forward to playing it all the time. I'm I know the whole connection between the father and son is supposed to be like a really big thing. I'm not connecting there so much so far.
Is it because you don't have a son?
Could be. I wish I did.
Trust me
have
when
one.
I say this, it's gonna get worse.
All right.
It's gonna get worse. You're gonna cry.
I hope so. So there's something I didn't know. There's these Valkyries in the game, and they're like bonus bosses that you can go fight, and they are extremely hard. I spent an hour on the 4th or 5th one, and it's more like a Dark Souls boss. You have to figure out the weaknesses. They have, even though they look the same, you have to beat each one differently. And I like that that's in the game. The only downside to it that I found was that it makes the regular bosses a cinch. Like I fight regular, it makes everything else in the game so easy because you get so good at fighting these Valkyries. Even the big bosses, like I beat them on the first try because I just spent an hour having to have microsecond reactions against these fucking Valkyries. So it's a plus and a minus. I know I could beat the game and then come back and beat the Valkyries, I guess. But yeah, I'm having a good time with that.
So that was something that we talked about. We were talking to all of our friends, and we were like, "Oh my god, you play it?" Blah blah blah. And one of our friends was like, "I didn't try doing the Valkyries until after I beat the game already." And we were like, "I think that's the way you're supposed to do it."
Yeah.
Because we all had the same complaint, was that the regular bosses were too easy.
Yeah.
But then again, like when you look at it, there's some of the Valkyries that are weaker to abilities that you get in later in the game.
Yeah, because, dude, when I was fighting this Valkyrie, I knew I shouldn't have been fighting it. Like one axe swing was taking not even 1%. So I had to hit it like 200 times to kill it. So yeah, I shouldn't have been there, but you get in that mode where like I gotta get it done. I do want to talk. Go ahead.
Give me one. I want to share my Valkyrie story real quick.
Of course you do,
Sorry,
Nick.
Sorry. I'll be quick. I know I sent you 79, but you can check your stats and everything. 173 tries.
Jeez, on one of them.
On the last one.
Did you do it before you beat the game?
Yes.
Okay. And when you beat the game, do you get some other awesome stuff?
No, you just get an achievement. You get an achievement for killing all the Valkyries, and then you get an achievement, like a secret achievement for beating the last one that's a secret.
And there's a little thing about this game where the drops are not static. So this Valkyrie doesn't always give you this item. It's just a random loot pinata that comes out. So that's another added thing. I like that aspect of it. I like that I might get this super epic legendary item out of one, or I might not. Like I do like the RNG aspect of it. So the more I play this game, I have realized that it's a bit of a Metroidvania. This is how they got so much stuff out of one game. You're on a lake, and there's all these different spots you could stop in the lake. But as the game goes on, the water level drops, and so it reveals all new areas every single time the water drops. And I can't wait to get over and see. I was like, oh, now I can get to this other thing. And you'll not be able to get through a certain thing until you go somewhere else and upgrade your axe or whatever. And just like Metroid, like usually it's an attack. So you get this new attack that also happens to be able to like break down this one kind of wall that's been in your way this entire time. And there's so many of these. I can't believe you 100%ed these things, Nick. Because like,
Dude,
yeah, you have.
Bad.
There's things in corners. Like, it's one of these things where like just for example, there's these brambles that you can light on fire once you have your chain axes or whatever. Chains of chaos. And while I was playing the game, I'm like, they're everywhere. I can't fucking throw a rock without hitting one of these bramble fucking. And then when you get them, you're like, where are all those fucking brambles? And you go fucking, you're going around the lake. You're like, I could have sworn there's brambles fucking everywhere. But
you,
like,
nature.
yeah. And then you can't, you only find a few and you're like, whatever. But like, it doesn't force you. It has more content and it doesn't feel like you have to do it. But I feel compelled because I know I'm going to have fun doing it. Yeah, it's one of the better games I've ever played, I think. I'm really, really enjoying it. And it's crazy it came out in 2016.
What's crazy? 2018, by the way.
2018. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know you. I'm just going to default put you at wrong column.
I checked myself, by the way.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Oh, the graphics are... There's times
Proud
where
of
I
you.
just stop and just look at the graphics. I'm just like, the fuck? This is so beautiful. Like... I'll play The Witcher, and you see the backgrounds, but it definitely feels like a backdrop in a movie. Like somebody drew it, and it's in the background, and those are the mountains. It's beautiful, really beautiful, but you can tell. And then in this, it feels like you could just walk over to those mountains. Like it's not a backdrop. It feels lived in. You can't, but it does make you feel like it's very grand. Yeah. Hey, everyone, God of War is a great game. Fucking everybody knows.
But we love you for that, and that you've accepted it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you to the community.
So wait, God of War came out in 2016, the original
18.
game?
He's saying now.
2018.
2018.
Was this a remake or something?
When it came to PC, they remastered it, kind of. Not remastered, but like, you know,
They turned it up to 144 FPS and 4K and all
Yeah,
that
but I'm
stuff.
talking like the first God of War game that ever came out.
Oh,
ever.
No.
super old.
So this is a continuation. This is technically God of
Oh,
War.
this is like when they
4.
make a new one, but they have the same name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is God of War 4, like Nick said. And you know what's funny, Nick, is like I didn't think I had any nostalgia for the original God of Wars. But I played them when they came out, you know? I got them when they came
God of War
out.
3 was great. Dude, it's an amazing game.
Yeah, I remember that
All
one.
of them are.
But when I didn't know I was going to get the Blades of Chaos, dude. Like, I had no idea because I never saw a screenshot that he had them. So when he got them, and I was like, I got a little nostalgic. I was like, oh shit, these are the fucking, oh my god, you know.
Oh
and
my
then
God.
I know.
Leslie like teared up a little bit when she was like, "You're having a moment, aren't you, Nicole?" I'm like, "You don't understand.
You don't
Leslie.
understand.
These have been bestowed upon me."
And then I grabbed him.
Me now.
The game almost lets you like, okay, dude.
It lets you annihilate everything
Yes,
around you.
it's
with
like,
them, and you're
here-
just like, "Ugh,
you know, like
die!"
a lot of games will be like, oh, here's a new weapon, here's something really hard. No, they just send a bunch of like ice zombies
Fucking
against
ants.
you. Yeah,
Just like,
against
have
your
fun.
fire, and it just lets you fucking enjoy your Blades of Chaos for a good 10 minutes, just destroying things. And you're like, this is the same combo on PS1 on the original
that's
God
what
of
it
War.
was.
It's the exact same combo, and yeah, I got a little nostalgic about it. But yeah, can't recommend it more. And thanks.
Will we ever get Bobby to play this?
No, he'll never play a game like this. I don't think.
You're an agent of chaos.
I don't
Something
know.
called the
Man.
Blades of Chaos.
I hear great things about it. Maybe one day, but the hack
Bobby's
and
like,
slash
it was a
games,
nickel on Steam in 2043, so I got it finally.
I don't really connect with the hack and slash games. I did play that one Rise, Son of Rome, and enjoyed that, but that's like a 6-hour game. I imagine these are a lot
This
longer.
is 20 hours.
Yeah.
20.
And 40 hours is a lot.
20 hours.
What was it, 47? How many hours did you put into Overwatch 2?
46.
46.
Yeah, competitive games I could play. Dude, I could play that till I die. Like, I'll play anything like versus another human opponent. I could do that all day. And I think most people end up spending a lot more time in a game like that. You know,
And there's plenty of that in Marauders.
Dude, can you pull up my clip, Sea Dog? I
Hey,
sent you a
for
clip.
effort, Emilio.
Thanks.
It's good.
Dude, this game I have discovered that I'm really good at, and I like it. It's really bad. I wipe out teams of 3 and 4 all the time.
You playing solo?
I'm playing solo. I played with. Oh, first of all, I gotta give props to my homie Sea Dog. All right.
Yeah.
Sniper that's Sea Dog, by the way, if you haven't caught that.
We put
Sniper
it together.
is really fucking good at the game, but
No, he said he's just a barge rat or something. He just
no,
waits
he's
till the
not, dude. He's one of the first people to run into the room. He's like, "Surprise, motherfucker!" Yeah, he killed it. We played like 4 games together. They were all super fun. I kept dying fucking second. The new guy we were teaching who had he's like, "What does this do? What does this do? What does this do?" And then he's like, "Oh!" Like every fucking 5 seconds.
That'd be me.
Yeah, no, this game is really fun. I'm getting to the middle point in the game because there's like this huge overarching quest, and they tell you exactly what you need to do it. And that's kind of how you unlock the ability to craft stuff. I'm at the point right now where I'm on a specific quest where I have to kill 8 other players. The last time I had to do that was 4 other players, and it was 13 missions ago. And so the game is really fun. I'm discovering certain things are not exploitable, but more competitive. As weird as it sounds, I'm telling you, Days, you and your gang would love this. This shit is hella fun. It's a lot less butthole clenching than Tarkov. I love Tarkov. I will even say that
we
Tarkov
stay
is.
tight butthole though, dude. Like, is it gonna like? I mean, I don't know. Like, I have a hard time replacing Tarkov with anything right now, man.
It's
like,
not a
So
replacement.
I love
you
it.
know the new feeling that you have with Tarkov right now? That's what I had when I discovered Tarkov as well, right?
Mhm.
When you have tight butthole for 4 years, because that's how long it's been in beta, pretty much, you got to loosen it up every now
Gonna
and then.
blow an O-ring.
Hey,
Yeah.
I just did that.
Yeah, well,
We
you know,
talked
there's a
about it.
lot of things that you can fit in your butthole in Tarkov. Can you fit a lot of things in your butthole in
You have no
Marauders?
butthole in this game. That's another thing. That's a different thing.
No butthole. What?
So for those who don't get that reference, in Tarkov you have something called a secure container where you can put keys and other things so that when you die you get to keep it. It's not a real play for keeps game. They call it the prison wallet because technically your pants and all this other stuff, like not your pants, but your backpack and all
It's
stuff
up your
can be
butt.
item weight. It's up your butt. So
It's
I
up your
see.
butt. So,
in
you know, when your
Marauders,
buddy
don't have
gives
that.
you, yeah, when your buddy gives you an SJ6, you got to stuff it up your butt, you know, in Tarkov. But in Marauders, you just, die? Do you
just
die as much as you do in Tarkov? Because if you're
No.
not dying, you're not having fun. So,
I mean, I think it's because I'm actually, like I said, really good at this game. I used to be really good at Tarkov, but I got rusty. So
Sniper.
this is stupid.
Sniper. Is Nick as good as he says he is?
I think I had to upload it to our Google Drive and it's still processing, but I'll let you know when that is done. Nick
ooh,
is
he's analyzing.
pretty good at the game, but I caught him when he was first, I think, just starting to play. So I think I had a little bit more like map
Oh, I
knowledge.
see.
But there's no doubt in my
Yeah,
mind, like Nick was talking like I'm some pro. I die all the fucking time if I actually play this game how it's meant to be played. So.
Nick's actually very good at first-person shooters. I've played with him.
He goes, we're playing, right? He's like, check this gun out. He's like, look at all the clothes you have. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like, it's just cool. You just get them from doing quests. And then 2 days later, I'm like, check out this gun that you've never seen before and does all these things that you've never even heard of, bitch.
Yeah.
It's like I'm getting to the level where people don't just show up on my ship with pistols. They're showing up with like heavy machine guns in full like heavy like juggernaut gear, and I'm like, I'm scared. But yeah, the level of PvP is elevated.
The whole
We were playing
mix.
with Tattooed Terror, by the way. Sorry to interrupt. We were playing with Tattooed Terror, by the way, and a couple other people who bought the game based on when me and Nick were talking about it last week, which is pretty cool to have like a group of everyone is kind of discovering this game together, kind of like maybe what we had with Valheim and stuff like that. So if anyone else is out there and wants to play, I mean, Nick has gone solo. Nick is out in the sunset, frolicking in dandelions. He's never coming back. But me, I would love to group up with other people. So
Looking for a rat pack? Is that
I'm
what
looking
it is?
for a fucking rat pack. Let's go.
We're rats. We're rats. We're really big rats.
But no butthole.
No butthole. Dude,
so
I'm telling you, it's a different game. Speaking of buttholes, can you tell us about Don't Shit on My Blank Roof?
And that was a great fucking transition. Yeah, don't shit on my fucking roof. That's
I saw this game.
So
Oh, wait,
we were
did you bring up the
talking
clip?
about
The clip finally uploaded. Sorry, it just took a while.
I so sorry for the great transition.
Now
Segue
we have to go
redacted.
back.
Just to pull
Segue
it back.
redacted.
God, see, this is why you need a butthole, because when you rip me out of raid, I got nothing.
Okay, Nick, this is a minute clip, so just tell us what we're looking for, and I'm gonna press play. Okay.
So yeah, in Marauders, there's very, very clear open area. It's usually very, very close combat, but this is one of the only maps where open areas like really, really, really out there. I would argue even like in this area, you would need a scope in some places. So I just killed a player, and I hear some people moving, and I don't realize that it's players yet until I hear one of them step in a crooked way. Because you can kind of tell when people sprint and move. So I can tell that they're on the other side of this building right here, and they're kind of playing like chicken with me. They're circling, they're counter circling when I'm circling and things like that. So I'm trying to find health and stuff right now, and I managed to heal inside the building, but now I hear that there's two coming this way. So I fake a shot so they can get distracted, kill one of them right there. I can tell the other guy has heavy armor on, and so if he has heavy armor, he's probably gonna turn the corner pretty slowly. So I pre-fire and kill the third guy.
How can you tell that he had heavy armor?
They sound different.
Oh, like their footsteps?
Mm-hmm.
Shit, man. Sound design
Yeah,
must be fucking great. All these games really require really good sound design.
It's really good.
Are you hip firing like most of
Yes.
the time? Like you're not gonna look down your iron sights or anything, or look
So
down your
I
sights at
only
all?
use
Even the
iron
mods?
sights when I'm further than 15 meters. I've perfect. If I have videos of me playing Tarkov, killing 5 players in one building, just hip firing.
Oh yeah, like the hip fire is way better in Tarkov in my experience than like looking down the sights. But I'm wondering how it is in Marauders.
It very much tries to be the same thing. All the hip fires for all the guns are different. Like it's pretty cool.
Neat.
Thanks for showing off.
But yeah, don't shit on my fucking roof while I don't.
Yeah.
Well, don't shit on Marauders. Okay, I like it a lot.
Yeah, don't shit on my don't shit on my vibe, right? And so shitting on vibe, shitting on roofs. There's this game out there that is a lot like the Vampire Diaries. We were just talking about that genre exploding. Here's one. I played one. And yeah, so this was kind of an interesting little game. It's, $3. Thought it was hilarious. Any game that's got obscenities in it is a fan. I like good diction, but saying fuck, shit, bitch is it's so great. It's wonderful. So don't shit on my roof. We're gonna get banned from Twitch. That's perfect. So no, I'm kidding. So anyway, you take your rifle. It's simple. It's just you're always shooting in directions. You have a little bit of some unlockable stuff that help you out, where you can get more ammo or more hearts, and you're just trying to kill and get rid of all of these pigeons that are coming for your roof. And you have different maps that have like a little desert area, and you've got your little like adobo hut and shit, or you've got like an actual little house, and so you can upgrade and increase, like I said, your shoot speed. To me, these games, I just get bored. Like I feel like they're in a way like too easy, and then it gets to a point where it's just like an absolute clusterfuck, and I feel like it's just why. And so
Days, you played Vampire Survivor at my house early on when it was very new, like in the first few weeks, and you were, first of all, you sat down played once and doubled my high score, and then you were like, yeah, I'm really good at this, but it's fucking boring, and you walked away. I'm like, what? But you just
and that was my issue with this game too, is that like I got pretty far and it was just I got bored. I was like, whatever. Meh. I'd rather play Tarkov and shove things up my butthole in Tarkov. I'd much rather do that than try and keep these pigeons from shitting on my roof. I did think it was a hilarious name, and it's kind of cute, but I just feel like the Vampire Survivor whatever was better. But yeah, like you said, I don't know. I'm naturally really good at them, but they're boring.
I got a question, Dace. Are you trying to protect yourself from taking damage, or are you trying to keep them from getting to your house? Because there's a house right there.
You were trying to prevent them from getting to your house.
Oh, okay. So that's
But
different
you
from all
also
the
are
other
losing
ones.
damage. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a bit different. Yeah, that's the biggest difference is that you are not only like protecting yourself, but you're also really protecting your house.
Yeah, because you don't want shit
But
on
I
it.
found that a lot of the pigeons would follow you anyway. So if you ran away from the house, they'd be following you, which the fuck? Like try and protect your house, but you could just leave and then they don't go to your house? What? Okay. Like, so I don't know. There were some though that would head like towards the house and at the higher levels, like they end up aiming for the house, but it's still just like, I don't know.
Just
For the longest
backdoor
time,
pigeons.
that's one of the tactics is pulling them all away. And it's just, I don't, to me, like, I think if you liked the vampire, I always want to say Vampire Diaries. I know it's not that. I don't even like that show either.
Vampire Survivor.
Yeah, the Vampire Survivor. But you know, if you like that, then you might get a huge kick out of "Don't Shit on My Fucking Roof" or "Don't Shit on My Roof" because it is a funny game, and it's very much the same. That's not the kind for me. But you know, speaking of Vampire Diaries, another chick flicky type shit. You want to tell me a bit about the Love Is Blind? I see you put that on
Bro.
there, Emilio.
It would have been so funny if he said Andor.
Uh,
Girly as shit,
The
Andor.
girliest shit ever, Andor. Yeah.
Nick, are you all over this shit too? Are you watching Love Is Blind season 3?
Nah, we stopped watching it.
Oh, what? You're not enjoying this season?
Nah, we just stopped watching Love Is Blind after like the first 4 episodes. We're like, this is stupid.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, we
Bobby and I are big fans, and I just want
we like what's it called? Love on the Spectrum. That's our vibe.
that is so good. That is better than this, I think.
100%. That's why Indian Matchmaker is another good one. You've
Sam
never
watched
seen
that.
that
I
one?
didn't watch it. I don't have time for
That one's
your
fire.
shenanigans,
You have to watch
dude. I
How
gotta watch
many
real
love
stuff.
competition shows are you guys watching?
it. Dude, Indian Matchmaker's hilarious. By the way, they're like, I want a guy with 3 jets, a motorcycle with a gun on it, and a small army. And you're like, what? It's like, bitch, you are 5'1", and you look like a boiled potato. Get the fuck out of here.
Okay, so if you don't know what it is, it's like people meet each other, talk to each other for 10 days, and then decide some of them fall in love and some of them get engaged, and then they get married, maybe. After 10 days, they spend 4 weeks with each other, and then they marry each other. And then that's the whole big reveal at the end. Do they both say "I do" at the altar, right? And the whole thing seems so frivolous. And I was thinking, how could I defend this show, right? And I have a couple of points, and here are my points. Nick, when you saw Leslie for the first time, you said, "I'm gonna marry that woman." Yeah.
Yeah.
So that kind of shit does happen, right? So
Mhm.
that's love at first sight, and that's just like, you know, it's not frivolous because he really felt that way, and it turned into now we have a baby, we have a marriage, we have a house, all of that from I'm gonna marry that woman. So there's those, right? My mom, same thing. Her first husband saw her and said, "I'm gonna marry that woman," and so that kind of happens. So there's that. Then also, I'm thinking about. I bring it up all the time on podcasts. Bobby and I, even though we don't like each other, have spoke more to each other than anybody any of my relatives, any of my other friends. Like, I've talked to Bobby more than anybody in my life, probably. And people listening, if you've been around since, in the first 100 episodes, you've listened to my voice more than anybody in my family or anything like that, right? So I was thinking, these people talk to each other for, I think it's 10 days, and they have like these hour, 2 hour, 3 hour dates without seeing each other. And I was thinking, how many actual real time dates and phone calls would it have to take for you to get to like 10, 15, 20 hours of talking to each other? And these people are getting 10, 15, 20, 30 hours of talking to each other and really, it's not just oh, what do you want to eat? Where do you want to go? It's none of that. There's all the bullshit is cut out. You just get right to the making each other laugh and talking about whatever you guys want to do in your lives. So it's mostly the important stuff. So they jump right to the important stuff. So yes, it's a fucking reality show, and yes, mostly it's all bullshit. But yeah, these people have stayed married after the season 1 and season 2, and I think they all refer to it as the experiment. They're like, I trust you in the experiment. I trust that love is blind. So I think, yeah, there is something to it. Yeah, it's not ideal way to meet somebody, but I think that true love can come from this over glamorized.
Stop
what?
giving me pretty people. I want somebody.
They're
with
not that
stretch
good
marks.
looking, dude. They really aren't.
I want people with stretch marks and wonky eyes that only have 3 teeth and can only eat apple pie. Give me that shit.
They're not that good looking, dude. Really.
I also don't think it's a fair enough experiment. You need some fucking potato person from the middle of the Midwest out of nowhere. Like,
Well, there was some
Come on.
criticism
Like, my
after
name is
season
Jabeki,
1.
and I'm really good at
So
throwing
they
corn.
tried to include
geez,
a more
Kate.
diverse cast, but I don't think any of them made it that far.
Season 1 they were pretty attractive, and then season 2 they were like, oh, let's just get a mix of people.
Yeah, but
And
then
then-
all the attractive ones kind of ended up on this show.
Yeah, which is interesting.
Yeah.
I think that
So
comes with a certain
there's
level of confidence. maybe.
There's 7. Oh, by the way, love is blind, but love is not deaf. You know, that accent, if it's ugly, people are going to pick up on it. Another thing, there's 7 successful couples, apparently, according to this article, in Women's Health.
From season 1 and 2?
And 3. They're counting
Oh, okay.
They're counting people who are still together from 3, even though it hasn't been
Yeah.
that long, apparently. Which is more than The Bachelor. Like, in terms of, like, shit love shows, you have The Bachelor, which is, like, bottom feeding on the aquarium, just barely surviving. Ultimate trash TV. And then this is, like, this is above. This is a real, I think this is a real attempt, even if they have people who are generally better looking and maybe have their life together and stuff, so it's not really a true experiment.
There's definitely that. Almost everybody there's, if not, their heads above water. There's not people that are like
Well,
drowning in debt.
season 1, that girl
There
was
was that
like,
one
"Oh, I
girl.
got a lot of debt. and,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
we're getting married." And then he sold his house to pay off her debt.
Yeah.
Wow.
She was probably the best looking out of that
Yeah,
season.
I don't
but-
know. It's totally garbage TV, and I don't. I
It is
think
not garbage TV. That's
it's garbage.
Did
That's
you
why
just hear me
I'm
for
trusting
10
Bobby on
minutes,
this.
dude?
No, dude, it's stupid. Like they take their cell phones away, they put them in this fantasy world where they lock them in rooms and they talk to
Yeah.
people, and people are like giving these versions of themselves through a wall without seeing. And then the minute they get out of there, it's my favorite episode is always the one where everybody meets up and they see all the people that they said no to or they dated in the pods.
Oh.
And then everybody, and these are like, a lot of these people are like 25, 27, so they're fucking terrible at relationships. They're making all the stupid mistakes that I did. They're like, they go back home with their new wife and they're like, look, babe, you know, like, okay, yeah, that other girl, she's like a 10 physically,
Yeah.
like fucking banging. But you and I, we have this emotional connection, you know? And the girl's just like staring at him like,
What
are you
the
fucking
fuck?
stupid?
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, dude.
This
Been
is
there,
why
brother.
Bobby loves it so much.
It's so good.
It's fun to watch people be
It's so fun to
terrible
watch.
at relationships. It really
Oh.
is.
I
on
will
that-
defend. I'm trying to defend the experiment. That's all.
I
Not
think
the
it's
people.
worth defending.
There's
I think it's-
definitely people there that are there to be famous.
Oh, yeah.
I could
Like
for
any
sure,
show, though.
but I don't think it's the
Yeah,
majority.
but I think
The
they
show
put.
needs to be nationalized.
I,
It
I
has
think
to
they
be
put them in a
bigger.
position that's just totally unnatural. Like for 2 weeks, you don't have your cell phones, you don't go to work, and then you go on this honeymoon with someone. Like you're living in a fantasy world. I don't
Okay,
know.
okay.
sure,
so
but it's a
I
good
meet up a
place
slight
to meet
tangent,
somebody
but
like this
I'm with
fantasy world.
Bobby
I'm
and
done
his,
talking about this. I gotta go pee.
I'm with Bobby and his girlfriend in Paris, and me and Rihanna are talking, sitting opposite them. I don't know. The conversation turns to something to do with relationships, and we're like, "Yeah, we've been having a great time. You know, we've been together for 5 years, just got married." I'm like paraphrasing, but then Bobby turns to his girl, and he says to us, "He's like." Oh no, maybe your girlfriend said this. Someone said, "Oh, wait till you're together 10 years. You'll be surprised the stuff you can fight." So I feel like you and maybe anyone who's been in a relationship for maybe a longer time has a more jaded perception of these types of things, because you're really all about, oh, they're in this like fantasy land, but whenever you meet someone, you're always in it's kind of like you're in a fantasy land for a little while.
Yeah, but
matter
not like
what-
this, man. Like you still go to work, you know, and you still have like social
Do you,
obligations.
or do you float to work while your head is somewhere else? You know,
like 500 days of summer? No.
God,
yeah, I don't know,
that
man.
show's fucking trash.
It is pretty trashy, but I don't know. Occasionally, you got to have a little bit of trash. I mean, we've been watching this garbage forever. There was like 2 years ago during COVID, I got really into that old '90s one. What was that one with the pop-up bubbles? Blind Date. I started watching a bunch of old Blind Date
Next?
episodes. No,
Oh.
Next. I dated a girl for a while who was on Next. She got nexted. Yeah,
Oh.
I've been searching for that
I
episode
remember.
too.
Do you remember the next bubbles for the people? It's like Ryan likes running, eating salads, but he hates the sound of people falling downstairs.
Yeah, they were so dude. That show. Oh my god, MTV. All of MTV's shows like during the 2000s were so bad.
16 and pregnant. You got Jersey Shore.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean, we could
Bangs.
recount all those terrible things, but we should probably talk again about
was gonna
video
say,
games.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of these shows because I think what's so much better than all of that is definitely video games. And you know what? Maybe those people might need some better mothers. I don't know. And I'm gonna segue into my own shit, so deal with it. I'm gonna talk about For Mother Matron. That's the game that I played. A little bit. This is a visual novel and it was kind of like a spookier game, I suppose. They kind of put it underneath the realm of horror. But I feel like with a visual novel, it's a little hard to do like a true horror, right? Or at least in terms of being really terrifying. I guess you can let your imagination kind of go wild, right? And so this game this storyline reminded me a lot of the Hunger Games because you start off as like this chick that is super sleep deprived, which I feel that I'm on midnights. I'm exhausted. So I'm right there with her. Her name's Lizzie. And she lives in some terrible town. I can't remember what the town was actually called though, the neighborhood, but they just called it like the shit yard instead of the shipyard because like everybody's waste from all these districts gets dumped into it because there's this
Oof.
world that is surrounded by this like really creepy black, like thick kind of cloud of a world called the crepuscule, and the crepuscule is creeping more and more in on this entire city that has all these districts, right? And so the mother or so that takes care of all of it, the government essentially, always picks people from different districts to kind of become essentially a sacrifice because nobody comes back from the crepuscule. But she sends certain people from the district out to go explore the world that is outside of the walls of the city in this creepy place. And so this chick, after being exhausted, like she gets chosen to go out and you're navigating through these tunnels and you have to make these different choices based on not only where to go, but who you interact with and who you find. And so the story will change as you're playing it, which is really cool. But I mean, I'm enjoying it so far. I think it's really well written. And so that's really nice, and it's kind of interesting. I'm a big fan of these really weird kind of like choose your own adventure odd
No.
games like this. No, not
Really?
me. Milk inside of a
really
bag of
neat
milk.
games?
What? Yeah. And so I don't know. I find this game like fascinating so far, and I'm enjoying it. I mean, there's only 18 reviews for it, but they're 100% positive.
There you
So
go.
it came out on October 17th. I think if you like visual novels, though, like this is certainly a really cool, interesting one. Like I said, there's some things that kind of remind me very much of the Hunger Games. You know, you were selected, go on out into this world and survive and come back. Like that was a lot like the Hunger Games too, of choosing somebody from a different district. And it's same with this, but I do really enjoy the way that they wrote this. It feels very like dark and real and just like a good story in a way. I mean, it doesn't seem very real with the crepuscule, but I mean real in the sense that like the way that they painted her exhaustion and working and like saying goodbye to her friends because she was leaving, like they did a really good job writing the story for that and just the details in that. So I thought this was a really cool visual novel.
Hey,
Do
Days.
you,
Go ahead, Nick. I lost my train of thought.
do you watch anime?
I used to when I was young. I went through like an anime phase, but not so much now. I mean, like the last one I saw was Castlevania. I did like that, but
So this game is kind of really close to an anime, like as far as the story goes. It's called Attack on Titan. It's really good. Check it out.
Okay.
You would like it.
It's probably one out of the last 10 years. I would put it probably at the number one in popularity. Nick, would you say?
Yeah, that and Dragon Ball, those two, and One Piece. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, Attack on Titan is definitely like when the third season dropped, everybody like shit their pants. Like it's pretty crazy.
Nice.
God.
Talking about shitty games, I mean not shitty games. Talking about shitty shows, but really good shows.
Wow,
Andor.
you were.
Tell us about Andor.
Oof.
Oof, man, that one I tried.
We gotta work
Okay?
on this, guys.
Hey, we gotta talk about it. You need a team meeting.
Let's
Teaching up
sidebar
with
into a
you,
team meeting and then come back. No, Andor. I've watched it. Christopher is a disciple of this show, I think. Right? Or is it Christian?
Yeah, this show's the best Star Wars TV show or story. It's like on par with the Star Wars books I read growing up, and like Star Wars in a serious way, not really about like one family's drama, or like greater theological things about lightness and dark that are kind of tropey. This gets into the nitty gritty of the everyday, so I've really been enjoying it. But what have you thought of me?
I'm 3 episodes in. I'm really enjoying it. I just want to. I guess I know because I know what happens at the end of Rogue One. But these are the events leading up to Rogue One. Is that correct?
They're early in Andor's life. We will eventually get to Rogue One,
Okay.
but I believe they don't explicitly say how many years this is in before that. But so I'm a big fucking lore guy, and when I watch the show and I
No.
see shit like you've never seen any other Star Wars, you're like, huh, where do they get all that metal? All
Yeah.
that kind of shit is when you see that stuff in shows. That's what gets me like super interested. The show has a super awesome story. There was actually just an article about it where they compared Rings of Power, House of the Dragons, and Andor, and Andor got the most votes for like the best show between all three of them, and it's not even done yet.
Yeah. It's very well done. And Bobby, even though I didn't agree with you when you were like, everything's too clean in Obi-Wan. You're like, this is like a dirty planet and just everything. Even that, I took it in. Like, the production value here is the highest I've seen in one of these shows. I mean, Mandalorian was really high. Mandalorian looked like a movie. But this looks like a gritty movie. And I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. 3 or 4
It's adult
episodes
Star
in.
Wars.
Yeah, adult Star Wars.
Star Wars
it's
for
adult Star
adults for the
Yeah.
first time ever.
Yep.
That's what I've heard. I haven't seen this yet. Looking forward to it though.
Bobby, gotta watch it, my dude.
I'll watch it one of these days.
And
And
it's on Disney Plus, right?
yeah, Disney
Oh,
Plus
God,
for free.
guys, I'm
Yeah.
setting up the segue here. All right, that's the
he's
alley
trying to
oop.
say Days
Sorry.
That's
Gone.
the alley oop. Someone needs to slam dunk it. We'll just cut this part out. I'm looking forward to watching it one of these days.
Oh, not like Days Gone. No,
All right.
unlike Days Gone.
Swish? Question mark.
Yeah, so we played this back when we were doing the homework section. Let us know if you want that back. I'm always been a fan of the homework section, but
I have real homework now. I don't know if I need fake homework from you guys.
so we know that one person's against it. Let's find out about everybody else. But
I'll
anyway,
try it out.
yeah, it seemed forced
For it.
sometimes. Game of the week turned into game of the weeks, and this whole thing. Maybe we should do game of the month and just let people.
I'm down to do that.
Yeah, but anyway, we enjoyed it, but I just kind of fell off and never got back into it. And then I was thinking on my Switch, I was like, I don't want to play not my Switch. I'm sorry, my Steam Deck. I was gonna have some free time at work, and I was like, I don't want to play God of War of it because I feel like I'm gonna be dumbing it down too much. But what's something long form that I could just always have there, just on my Steam Deck that I could just pick up and go? And I was like, oh yeah, Days Gone. I fucking paid like $50 for this game. Let me get my money's worth. So I started playing it on this Steam Deck, and it's working very well. I'm having maybe some contrast issues, like reticle, when gets whitewashed with because it's white, and a lot of the time the background is like foggy, and like I can't see my reticle, and I've tried to look for options to fix that. But besides that, everything else runs great. Like it's a very good Steam Deck game. So there's a recommendation. Days Gone on the Steam Deck, and that's it. And I don't know how to segue into a plug. Hey, Christian, want to talk?
Yeah, I will talk. So, for a long time on our Steam group, DL Gaming group, there's been, I can only describe it as online crime going on, where someone has been giving away Steam keys in giveaways. See this all the time. With leftover keys and trying to build their following. You know, you sign up for a contest, there's a chance you get a Steam key.
We did it here. We've done it in the past.
Oh, yeah, but probably legitly. Like, someone who's churning out every week is finding a way to get keys and then using it to, like, build their brand, and probably not a great way. Anyways, it got me thinking. We have 1,400 people-ish in that Steam group. And when we were playing with Tattooed... forget his name. Tattooed Terror. Oh,
yeah.
It's so terrifying. Marauders earlier. He left a review on Steam, and he said exactly what I said. He said, accessible space Tarkov, and that was the review. And I said, the fuck? Those are my words that you're using, bud. So I kind of wanted to do a different plug this week, and maybe going forward, tell me if you like this idea. If you play a game that we recommend, and you leave a review on Steam, maybe just sign it with DLG Bump. Not so we know, but so that the developer knows, because they go through every review, probably meticulously more than once. They take them to heart. And if they see these hashtag DLG Bump, eventually they're going to try to find it, you know. I don't know how they're going to find us, but it's an interesting way to, like, quantify what kind of effect that we're having. So I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Or it doesn't have to be hashtag DLG Bump. It can be, I don't know, hashtag Bobby's Shoes, hashtag God of War, Magic the Get. Anyways, I don't know.
How are they going to know what Bobby's shoes mean, though? Are they?
As long as it's the same message. DLG Bump is great. First of all, I love that you didn't run it past us, because we would have had notes and it would have ruined the whole thing. I think it's really good.
Don't forget to click submit when you submit the review.
Yeah. Days, I was curious earlier, did you review that game that only has 18? Are you number 18, or are you going to put 19 on there?
You know, I want to finish it completely before I do that.
And when you
I'll
do, will
have
you put
some time.
DLG Bump?
You know what? Yeah, fuck it, I will.
Fuck
yeah,
it,
I'll
I
start
will
putting
too.
DLG. I will. Yeah, I'll start putting DLG Bump at the end of shit. Why
Is it
not?
too
We'll start reviewing
self-indulgent if we
Steam
do
games
it?
now.
Do we have to let our listeners do it, or is it okay if we do it? I really got to write more reviews. I wrote a couple like back in 2015, and I put a lot of effort into it, but I don't think now people can like reward you for your reviews. They can give you like little upvotes, and you get credit in the Steam point shop for it. But I don't know. I feel like I should. Even if it's just like a little sentence or two, I feel like I should write more reviews and support some of the games.
I can't
love.
believe I got to pee again. But I support all of this.
Okay, perfect. So hashtag DLG Bump. And yeah, if you're out there, you don't have to put DLG Bump if you don't want. Or if you find a game that you like, not through us, obviously just review it. But make sure, if you enjoy the game, do review it. Like, so much of a developer's lifeline is that percentage on Steam, you know? And if you don't review the game, everyone else who hated the game, they're definitely going to review the game, right? So if you enjoyed a game, just take the extra second. All my reviews are just yes. I just type it in, yes, if I've spent more than 10 hours on it and like it, yes, post. Yes, post. I have like 100 reviews or something.
So if you don't write a positive review for the games you love, the terrorists have won, is what you're saying.
Exactly. Yeah.
And Christian, now are they about to be yes DLG Bump?
For the ones that I find through you find people, or that I bring to the podcast, of course they will be yes DLG Bump. You bet your bottom dollar. You bet your bottom.
Does it need to be hashtagged, or are we just doing DLG Bump?
Yeah, maybe the hashtag. You don't really need the hashtag, I guess.
Yeah, you
can't
don't,
search
but it's
by
just
hashtag.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe if we could get a screenshot of each one, that would be. I mean, that's asking for more, but
All right.
that'd be cool.
If you can tap your head and rub your belly when you do. All right, and that's it, everyone. That's the plug. Thank you.
That's the plug. All right. We've got 2 listener questions here. First one from Klingon PU $$Y.
That says pussy, Bobby.
Oh, couldn't tell, man.
Yeah.
I don't read elite speak anymore.
By the way,
Wow.
Next Generation was one of my favorite shows of all time. I thought the Klingon women were like not totally unfuckable. Like they were,
Bit of a butterface.
yeah, but usually super tall and like fit.
Yeah, but you gotta moan some really weird names like. Come over here.
What if
Smother
your
me.
Klingon name was Chicka Chicka? That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. Christian, can we get some pictures of Klingon women up on the screen here so we can tell?
No fan art. No fan art. No fan art.
I mean, this was at the height of my jerking off days. Like
Just Google image.
Next
Klingon
Generation
pussy.
was a lot of my. Okay, never mind.
Okay.
Maybe it was better in my.
Yeah, I mean, when you're like an adolescent, it's pretty incredible. You can
Yeah,
jerk off to just about anything.
yeah. I like coming on foreheads, but not those ones. That's
The stage
All
5
right.
Klingon forehead.
it's a stage 5 Klingon. Oh, I love it.
Ugh.
Oh, so good.
Dude,
All
have
right.
you guys seen Lower Decks?
What?
No, heard
I
it's
want to
good.
know why that regular person is just in here with all those Klingon.
I think that's
women.
the actress that plays that. Klingon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that's who it is.
All right.
But
All right, I
Lower
take
Decks-
everything I was saying back. I mean, you could tell if you were to take that whole forehead off. All right,
I think you're being picky. I think these are some beautiful ladies.
they are beautiful ladies, man.
When the Klingons
Gorgeous.
show up and kill us all, they're gonna
Aggressively
save Chris.
beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's why Klingon Pussy asks, what was your life's greatest quandary?
Whether or not I'd fuck a Klingon woman was pretty deep. in there.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyone got any real answers?
yeah. All right. Yeah. I'll take it on the dark side then. I guess I don't know. My largest quandary was and sometimes continues to be, why can't I logic my way out of depression?
Yeah,
That's
because
it.
I've thought about this.
Because
It's
it's
like
not logical. Yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. You can't really confide what it is. There is no definite things. That's why there's a whole science fucking
Why it's
devoted
a
to it. Yeah, it's
Perfect
crazy.
quandary. Yep.
doesn't it feel like you can think your way out of it, right?
Kind
or
of.
like you
I
can,
mean, people will tell you it's in your head, so you think you can
Yeah.
think your way out of it, but no, it's just I don't know. It's hard to describe too in ways like because everybody kind of battles with depression differently depending on what they have, and their coping mechanisms would need to be different to cater to what's going to work for them, right? And that's a journey that everybody that has depression is on for themselves. You know, there's certain things that definitely help, like obviously sleeping well and eating better and drinking enough water, getting the fuck outside. Like those things do help most people, you know, but at the end of the day, like especially if it's chronic depression, you know, it's unfortunately something that you live with and not something that you can just cure.
That's a good one. What about you, Bobby?
Life's greatest quandary? I don't know.
your
man.
life's greatest quandary.
Yeah,
Your last good
Yeah.
quandary.
I don't know. That's a rather deep question to spring on me at a
Mine's,
moment's notice.
Mine's why the fuck does deja vu happen? It's really fucking creepy when it happens.
I haven't had it in a long time. Maybe because I
had it
don't
the
have a
other day.
memory anymore. I'm much
I
like
had
a
it the other
cricket.
day,
I just
it's good.
react to things, stimuli.
You're just a goldfish now. Who's at the bowl? But no, I always wonder why it happens. I'm just like, God damn, like, are we in a fucking simulation? That's my RAM leaking or something? Like, I don't know.
I would say right now, because I'm in the back half for sure. I'm on the back half. I'm 44, so I'm the back 8. Is it called? Anyway,
Over the hill.
Over the hill. The question is, how much fun do I have now, which is going to cost me time and enjoyment at the end? Do I burn off now versus saving myself to have a longer, less fun ride later? Does that make any sense? Like, do I drink more and have more fun now, which means I'm probably going to die sooner, and be more uncomfortable sooner, versus taking the Bobby route, which is like super responsible. I'm in this shit for another 50 years, and I'm going to be sound and safe the entire time.
Yeah, watch me get hit by a bus tomorrow.
That's the thing, dude. That's
Dude,
the thing.
don't say that.
And
Don't
that's
say
why I definitely think that, like, I think it's genetic, at least for me and like every Mexican that I've ever known. It's like party, 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 then you die. And so we die earlier, I feel like.
Well,
you know what I
growing
mean?
old's gonna suck, man. I used to think like, I want to live so long, then I'll have all this time to do stuff. Dude, being old really, really sucks. There's a really great movie that I think captures this called Amour. I never know how to pronounce that. You know, it's like
Amore?
not Amore. It's not Italian. It's Dutch, but it's the movie's actually in French. It's by Michel Haneke, pretty famous director over there. But it's called Amour, and it's just about this old couple, and one of the ladies slowly dies in it. But it's just, it's not like I say this. I give you the entire plot of the story, but
That
doesn't
says
sell.
armor, dude. That's armor.
Armor without the R. But it captures it in the best way. After I saw that movie, I was like, maybe I don't want to grow old. Maybe I'll just be like hit 70, like in Midsummer, like 70, and then I'll just jump off a cliff.
76.
Yeah. That's why, like, I cannot sit. It's almost like buying an insurance policy. It's right if the thing breaks, but it's wrong if the thing never broke, right? There's no right answer. So
It's a gamble.
you have Bobby's approach of straight and narrow and like, let's ride this thing out and have a ton of money at the end. And then there's my approach, which is like, have as much have as much fun as possible and pay the price at the end if there is an end. So I don't know. There is no answer. That is why it's life's greatest quandary. God damn, that was poetic.
All right.
Next up is from El Grumman Boneforge. Who's your favorite fantasy dwarf?
Oh man,
Got some interesting new listeners, apparently.
that is a great name, dude. I love it.
Yeah.
That's probably his D&D name.
That's a pretty cool one.
I mean, I think Gimli from the Lord of the Ring movie series.
Gimli, you fucking old
Yeah.
piece of shit. Not Grimly.
Cricket.
Sorry.
Cricket
You
reacting to stimuli. Cricket stimuli. Remember that. Yeah. I mean, he was the comic relief. You know, he made you laugh throughout the entire all three movies. I think it was really well done. Although I do really, really enjoy the new the prince in the new Lord of the Rings thing. Nick, what's his name? Torin.
Torin. Yes.
Yeah, Torin. Yeah, he's. I love that his hair is all fucked up and he's got smudges. Like these people dig all the time, and it shows. Even though he's a prince, you know what I mean? Like you could tell. It's good.
Well, before I answer, I
you,
just want to point out. So, you've gotten Gimli's name wrong.
Yeah.
You've gotten Christian's name
Yeah.
wrong, and then you called Nick Bobby several times.
But here's the problem. Here's the other side of that. I'm having a great time.
You're just sliding through life.
Chilling.
I'll tell you who my favorite dwarf is not. Torborn, I believe his name is, from Overwatch.
Torbjorn.
Yeah. Not a fan of that guy. Can't seem to make him work. I'm sure he's very good. Seen him in
I
action.
love that character.
Yeah, well, he's got a turret. I know you like characters
Yeah.
with turrets.
Yeah.
But yeah, just not happening for me.
Love that guy.
What about you, Dace?
Well, it was Gimli, and then not only was that taken from me, but then the name was butchered. So No. Otherwise, I guess the other one would be Geralt's friend, Zoltan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was fun.
Is
Wait.
he in the TV show?
He's
Not yet.
I don't think he's in the TV show. He's in the games, but he was in the books.
Yeah.
He was in the books quite a bit. They'd run into him. I always remember that, like, every time Geralt would run into him in the books, like, it was always really funny, and his whole gaggle and group of the company and like all the group, like it was always like when he was in a group with people, it was just like they're totally like the shitheads that like shit just hits the fan when you're
Yeah.
around them.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so funny and awesome.
Does anyone remember Willow?
Yeah. I brought that up a couple of weeks ago. I was saying
The
that.
movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're remaking it as a TV show or something now.
Oh, I thought it
think
was.
I think it's a 3-part miniseries, isn't it?
I thought it was a great movie when I was a kid. I enjoyed it so much, and then I saw the IMDb, and it's like a 6.1.
It was
and I'm
not a
like,
popular. Well,
what?
IMDb is always kind of low, but it was not a popular movie when it came out.
This is what I call a Leslie
Willow.
movie, where it's like a movie that not everybody sees except for the really, really nerdy kids when they were, super young, and they're like, "Mom came home from Blockbuster. She brought back fucking Willow."
Not everybody's
time.
mom would bring home Willow, for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Willow.
I mean, that was a pretty big
and-
step for ILM back in the day too. There was a lot of stuff in that movie. There was that whole thing where the witch was like morphing into all these different animals,
The
and then the
crow.
whole thing with the brownies, the little people,
Yeah.
like that. There was some pretty impressive stuff for its time back then.
Yeah. And a
my
young,
answer-
spry, gorgeous Val Kilmer. Look at him.
Yeah,
Huh.
I always remember that part where he's dressed as a woman, and that guy's like totally, he thinks he's a woman, so I can't remember what exactly happened, but he walks up to him and he says, "Want a mate?" and I don't know, that line has always stuck with me.
That's how you met
The
your
worst-
current.
Yeah,
You're like,
worst
"You want a
pickup
mate?"
line ever.
So I didn't actually say my answer. I just mentioned Willow. My favorite answer is actually Warwick Davis. He plays so many dwarf characters, like the Ewoks and a bunch of others in media. The guy is a legend in acting. And
Yeah.
he's also picking up the role of Willow again.
All
which
those
mad props
Leprechaun
to
movies.
Warwick
Wow,
Davis.
really?
Oh, that's cool.
It's a
Yeah.
It's God, he's been alive so long, dude.
Yeah, and he's still working, dude. And so, Willow for fantasy dwarf, real life dwarf. If you include real life, Warwick Davis.
Nice,
Guy's
man.
Like,
Good.
guy's a legend.
All right, we're wrapping this thing up. Sniper, I kind of want to hear your answers to these two questions. It's only two questions. Do you got them ready, or do you want to pass?
Life's greatest quandary. I'm at a point now where I love my cats, but they're they're weighing me down. I can't live anywhere else, like far away, and I would like to do that. And so it's like, I raised this cat from a little kitten. I found this other cat in the forest, and I love them so much. They bring me a lot of joy, but they're gonna die in 10 years, right? And in the meantime, I would like to do things. Rianne would like to do things too. So we're kind of wrestling with, like, do we give the cats away? Do we just accept that they're a part of our life? And I guess, as stupid as it sounds, like a part of our family for real, like we literally wouldn't give them to someone else to take care of. Like we would have them forever. So we're
Well,
kind
you
of,
do have 4 cats. That's a lot of
Yeah.
cats.
What are some things you can't do with these
Yeah.
cats?
well, I would want to move to somewhere else in Canada. I would love to live in Montreal. And then we have a long-term goal of moving to the Netherlands too.
Right.
And bringing them on a
So-
plane and getting a cat.
That's not
accepted.
hard, dude.
It's pretty hard.
It's
yeah.
pretty hard. Yeah,
It's
I've
pretty
looked into
fucking
it
hard.
too. It's hard.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's
What do you
The
mean?
cats
Put
are
'em in a
the
box?
limiting
Yeah,
factor.
to
You
Europe
put them in a
hard.
box and you fly. What do you mean? What's hard? You
So
pay.
that's from the U.S. to U.S., dude. Once you get to Europe, it's a different ballgame.
They won't- You have
They
to have
want-
them on your body for one. Now they don't let pets be in the under.
Oh,
compartment.
okay.
And second, the drugs you need to give the cat to calm down, so that it isn't like
Might kill 'em.
meowing the whole time and scratching and like, gonna kill itself basically through being so stressed, lowers the oxygen in their blood. And when you get on a certain altitude, like there's a chance they might die. It's a small chance, but I mean, they could just randomly not get enough oxygen.
Ship them
So-
over on a boat.
Dude, there are ways around it, but we're just dealing with this now, and it's more difficult than it might seem.
Try a
especially for poor cats.
catapult.
So savage, dude. No. God. No, I feel your pain with that, Sniper. I've thought a lot about that too. And like I've got a cousin that moved to the UK with 2 cats, and her cats got lost in Philadelphia, and like she arrived in UK and had to wait like a few days for her cats to get there because they lost it. It's like it's typically a fucking mess. Like, and it's not easy, and it's not something to take lightly, like traveling overseas with animals. And then just additionally too, like I drive all over the United States with my cats, and it is a pain in the fucking ass, and it does impact all my housing, and they're members of the family, you know what I mean? So like, and there's ways around it, and there's ways to make it work, but like it's not as easy as just like, fuck it, throw them in there, they're fine. Like, nah. I mean, if you give a shit about your animals, then it definitely takes some more thought and stuff to it, you know, and a lot more work, and mostly a lot more money is really what it is. It's a lot of money.
A lot of money, and the knowledge that the cat is like in a couple of months, these cats, if they were with someone else, they'd be fine. You know, I mean, they're animals. As long as someone's taking care of them and spending some time with them, they'll be fine. Do I really want to subjugate them to like this fucking journey in the sky that they're gonna be like super stressed out about, and they're gonna might not recover from? You know, like I don't know. Anyway,
By the
so
way,
think about that.
They have cats in the Netherlands. Just letting you know.
Thank God, dude. I thought it might be a rat infested.
Shithole.
My favorite fantasy dwarf, don't have one.
What's everybody playing next week?
Hopefully,
wait, no, I'm not going to
Phasmophobia.
be playing anything. Sorry.
All right, great. I'm so glad you cut off Bobby from talking to say that you're
Bobby.
going to be playing nothing.
Okay.
Go ahead, Bobby.
So season 3 of Deep Rock Galactic, Plaguefall, and hopefully some Phasmophobia.
Are you going to have some time, Bobby? More time next
This
week?
week, yeah.
Oh, great.
This week's looking better.
Great.
And then
Days?
I got some time coming off, so coming up.
Anybody but Nick? Anybody but Nick? Want to talk?
Well, you're not going to like my answer much either. I won't be here for the next 3 weeks. I'll probably be playing a little bit of Tarkov, but otherwise I can't be gaming much. It's crunch time, man. I'm about to travel all the way back to Michigan from California, so I got to get ready for that.
Yeah. Okay, Nick.
I'm visiting California this week, so.
All right. Cool, man. So you will not be on the next episode, or you will?
I will not be on the next episode.
Bobby, if it's
yeah,
just me and you, maybe we should bring in some like.
Bring in the B team.
No. I was talking about like we used to talk about media, like how I brought in
Mm-hmm.
You know.
We'll find something to talk about.
movies or whatever.
Love is Blind. A
Love
whole
is
episode on Love is Blind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tune in next week.
We're going to
Well,
talk
then-
about Lauren. Okay, she was born in
Oh.
Michigan.
So I know that I said that I was going to play a Plague Tale, but I was like, maybe I can burn through God of War fast enough to catch a Plague Tale on Game Pass, and that game's so fucking long. So God of War until it's done, and then hopefully a Plague Tale right after that.
Seeing it through.
Yep, seeing it through, and it's not a chore. It does not feel like a chore. All right, then give me the rundown. There we go. All right. On the radar, we had the Entropy Center, which was like a portal thing. And then Soul Survivors and Army of Ruin, which were both vampire survival games. God of War Ragnarok is a thing that we, even though it's coming out next week, we won't see it for a year and a week, hopefully, at the best. Warhammer 40K Inquisitor, nobody cares, especially with the subtext Martyr. Lilith Odyssey is a very cool looking planetary cute game. Unmetal is Metal Gear Solid spoof for those who love the Metal Gear Solid. Overwatch 2 is a game that Bobby likes but won't admit it. Phasmophobia is something that everybody likes, unless you're a little bitch like me. God of War Just play it. It's fucking amazing. Don't Shit on My House is another vampire survival game that looks like shit, but it's a funny name. Marauders is a play for geeks game that keeps popping up, even though I don't want it to. Love is Blind is a show that you should watch if you don't believe in love. Mother Matron. I was taking a piss, so I have no idea. It's something that looks like things. Days Gone is a zombie survival game that you can play on your Steam Deck, and that is it. Play the juicy outro.
What? No titties?
Motherfucking titties. What kind of titties? We have zombie titties. We have love titties. We have marauding titties. We have tits.
Klingon titties.
Oh,
Oh, Klingon titties.